Try that again. Go for it.
All right. Yeah, you're sounding better.
Okay, cool. There we go. I just had to tweak with my gain. I'm still learning my mic a little bit. It's all a process. But yeah, we could probably just run it from here. Kind of queued out the technical difficulties there. But once again, yeah, man, thanks for being on the show. I appreciate you being on here. Just a little introduction. This is the 4th episode of the Hot 16's podcast with your host, AJ Tainer. And today's guest, really, really good friend of mine. Grew up with him, played sports together, did a lot of stuff growing up. And he's doing his own thing. He has a podcast of his own called Burn the Wagon, and we're going to let him explain that to you guys, the audience, today about what he's got going on and what his topics and what he's trying to conquer with that. And without further ado, I want to introduce no other than Juan Dominguez. How you doing, Juan?
I'm good, man. Yahui, thank you for having me here today. Thank you for everyone that's joining the Hot 16's podcast. Thank you for all the listeners. Thank you for all the followers. My name is Juan Dominguez. I'm out of the Padaha River people out of Mendocino County, or the Padaha Dapo, the river mouth reservation. That's a little bit about myself. My podcast, Burn the Wagon, is about verbally burn the wagon. That is capitalism, patriarchy, and above all else, colonialism. And we'll get into that here pretty soon. A little intro about myself.
Yeah, no biggie. Yeah, thank you, man. And it's really awesome what you're doing, man. I think it's great. I think there needs to be more people just like you who are willing to take a stand and actually be a voice for Native American culture and actually stand for what's right. And I feel like your approach with everything you got going on is it's beautiful, man. And I think you're doing a great job, and just keep going, bro. You just got to keep pushing, man. Be that voice. Be one step ahead of everybody, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let me really quick here. I got these. I'd had some questions for you for today's show, just so we can get going. But you'd already told us where you're from. But here we are, right here. Boom! You already get that. You told us your tribe. So with you on, with everything you got going on in your life or spiritually, who were role models who kind of gave you the courage to want to start the Burn the Wagon podcast and do what you're currently doing with your movement?
I mean, it's my role models to say that, like, who kind of drove the force in starting the podcast is just regular people, honestly, regular people in my communities that want to be heard, that want to be seen, just don't have a platform and don't know how to go about getting themselves out there.
Yeah.
So I'm 2 years sober, so I used to do a really good job of forming people to do the wrong things, such as partying and doing stuff like that. So why can't I use my mouthpiece for something good? Because at certain times I wouldn't have zero money and be kind of find myself partying for 4 days with $0. So if I can use that mouthpiece to kind of get something done in a good way, then like we can just continue to drive forward, you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. And it was really cool. I remember I was when you first were getting ready, well, not getting ready, but when you were first doing all the stuff you're doing, I remember it to me, my memory with all this, you were actually making meals, and you were working with another nonprofit organization, if I recall.
Yeah, so we were doing feeding the homeless community here in Santa Cruz for a bit. So that was a thing that I definitely can get back into it, but right now, because there is a big homeless population in Santa Rosa, California, that needs help, and also in LA, there's a small community of natives in the Skid Row area. So that's something I definitely could get back into. But yeah, I was with Simply of Service. They do have an Instagram, but decided to go my own way with Burn the Wagon and kind of create a community by myself. But yeah, we were doing a lot of homeless feeding people. So we would feed up to like 40 to 50 people at a time. You came out with me like once or twice to give some clothes.
That was definitely a different experience, man. And thank you for letting me be a part of that journey with you in that time of your life.
Absolutely, man. It's anybody that wants to give back to somebody. And like I said, I'm 2 years sober, and at any point I could have ended up in that situation. And
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to, like, we're 1 to 2 steps away from that in a place, especially like California, which is so expensive to live no matter where it is, and it's so hard to find a job right now.
Hmm.
So it's I think we all need to realize we're 1 to 2 steps away from that situation.
Yeah, everyone is, especially with inflation and what the cost of living is, and it's definitely scary. We don't really know what the future of California holds. It's these next few years are going to be crucial, and especially these elections that we do have going on right now. I know those are actually really important. I've been seeing some stuff about that in the news. But with some other questions here, Juan, I think you might have covered one I had right here about what your podcast was about. But do you want to just go maybe a little bit more in depth on some things that you're focusing on, like right now, maybe some events or what you're really putting on your podcast, maybe some guests that you've had on?
Absolutely. So yeah, actually, one guess. I'll get into that in a little bit, actually.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so the whole reason there's a bunch of reasons why, but one big reason I started this is because history and people tend to talk about us in the past tense as Native American indigenous people. Um, so what I wanted to do is let people know that we're still here and we exist in every single type of person. We're artists, we're just regular people who just like watching TV, watching sports. We have politicians, we have people who are into the spiritual aspect, the people that aren't into the spiritual aspect of their cultures.
Yeah.
So I just want to show that we're every single type of person that exists in the so-called white man's world. We
Hmm.
exist that same type of person too. It's just,
Hmm.
we're just not talked about, and we just don't have platforms to get out there and be seen on.
Yes, yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, pretty much this is whole creating a platform for natives to exist and natives to just go and see other natives, and it's also for non-natives to learn exactly as
Yeah,
well.
I feel like you've definitely taught me some things. Like I remember I was watching one of your Instagram lives, and I didn't know that POMO was actually an acronym. I lived there my whole life thinking, the P.O.M.O and Kashaya tribe, that was the name, but it was an acronym. Can you to refresh my memory, and I'm actually going to jot it down. What does POMO actually stand for?
So dude, I went 29 years of my goddamn life thinking that I just like taking so
Yeah.
much pride in saying Pomo,
Yeah.
but it means people of many origins.
All right, I'm gonna remember that, because yeah, I remember you were who were you talking to? It was like, I think it was a guest from Upper Lake.
Yeah, he was a guest, but one of the people that was commenting, that was watching, commented, and she was an
Ah,
elder that commented that. Yeah, so I went 29 years of my life being so proud to be a Pomo person, and this is what settlers called us. Because
yeah.
in that area of Lake County, Mendocino County, and Sonoma County,
Yes.
there's many Pomo tribes that exist,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the language is very similar. Like a lot of people say Yahui for thank you.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. So the settlers in that time were just like, there's too many different tribes that are similar for
Mm-hmm.
us to call like each name.
Yes. Definitely. Wow. And it's just, wow. It's just, that's another thing how you had mentioned, like in history and stuff like that. I mean, hey, that's how it was taught to me, growing up. And it's just great that, you're being a voice to, make it like, no, like this is not right.
Yeah, and
Like,
actually, a person I want to get you connected to because he's a native rapper, and I think
oh,
he would be good for Hot 16's is Stewie G, and
Stewie
I
G.
yeah, and I interviewed him, so and he's doing a lot of live shows and shit, dude. You should definitely tap in with him and get him
Yeah,
to interview.
definitely. No, yeah, and that's another thing too. We really appreciate too. We love shout outs, man. You can shout out anybody you want. Here at Hot 16, we're all about building, like I like to reiterate, a foundation. It's organic, man. I have a mouthpiece. Why don't I give back in a giving aspect, or just try to, do what I can for my community or the community of people that I like to hang out with, like what can I do for them? And well, why don't I try and use my voice? So
Yeah, and I like that you're on the scene at events, man.
yeah.
That's the main way of networking and
Hmm.
getting your logo and your face out there. Because once
Yeah, it
people
was
start seeing you, then they'll start connecting that to like
yeah.
Hot 16s. Like, oh, that's Hot 16s, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's actually been really cool, man. I've had the honor and privilege of hanging out with some really really cool people, and I know it's only going to get better, you know. And it's definitely different, you know, how I'm going. And I knew that the crowd aspect is going to be really important because if I want to build anything, just like we want for both of our platforms here, you got to be able to have crowd interaction. You know, like you have to learn your audience, you know, because you could be like drawing in people like you said, like you're going to get the non-native learner and you could be teaching him, you know, something simple, maybe a term, how to say thank you. You know, it's more than just like one set like view, you know?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's great though, man. I appreciate the acknowledgement and the encouragement too, you know. And I can say that you've definitely given me some encouragement in a lot of this. With my a lot of my early stuff, I remember when this was all getting going. You were one of my first followers, one of my first encouragers, and you know it's always awesome to have people that you know support you. And yeah, it's great, and I'm glad to have you on today, man. It's really cool. This is the fourth episode of the podcast, man. So yeah, we'll keep it going here. So just so the crowd and my audience can get a better kind of timeline of everything, you had mentioned, and we had talked about our time together in Santa Cruz when we were helping the homeless and giving back. But wasn't it pretty much after that you had said you parted ways shortly after? When would you say you really started Burn the Wagon?
so actually, I just released. I didn't really do like a post or anything about it, but I just released my year anniversary episode with Tashina Parker.
Yeah, I had seen
So
that on your Instagram page.
that had been I've been doing it for about a year, and eventually, but the podcast page itself has existed for maybe like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just been in the upcoming interviews are going to be amazing. A couple people with like a good amount of followers, so hopefully we reach a whole new type of
Audience.
audience. Yeah, exactly. And they're two completely different type of artists. One is a tattoo artist, one is just a digital artist. So yeah, it's amazing. And last week I had two people. I had interviewed an artist, and another artist was watching, and they connected on their art, and I watched the conversation just unfold in the comments, and then become friends in the comments. So it's like those
Wow.
connections is what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's funny that you say. So you'd say you're gonna have a tattoo artist?
Tattoo artist. I've had actually one. This is going to be my second tattoo artist.
Yeah,
His
I'm
name is.
actually gonna be featuring my first tattoo artist. He's gonna be on the show here in a couple episodes. And actually, this is a big one for me. I'm gonna be doing my first international interview, and he's a tattoo artist out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, Leaves with Ink. Everybody can go check him out. That's his handle at Leaves with Ink, and he does black and gray tattoo. He doesn't do color. He does some shading, and yeah, you can find him on Instagram. And I'm gonna have him on here in a couple episodes. Another mutual friend. But that's really cool though that you're also featuring tattoo artists. I've also wanted to bring people like that, like another walk of life, you know, onto the show to see what kind of connection we can build with that audience.
Yeah, I'm gonna have. I want to have every type of person on. It doesn't matter what art you do, what you do, as long as you have a story to tell and you want to tell it.
Exactly, man. That's what it's all about too, and that's what I really like too. And you know what the coolest thing I can tell you about going out to these shows is when I meet these people, every story is different, whether it be from the conversation I have with them in the parking lot to the exchange we have of a small memento, or whether them be on stage and I'm listening to their story. You know, like there's so many beautiful people out there with so much to say. It's actually like it's just I don't really listen to what's been put like, you know, that mainstream scene. Like since I've started this, I really don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore. You know, it's
Yeah,
It's definitely I'm into a whole new realm of music, and I can say that I still have a couple of things I listen to, but my music taste was kind of getting a little dry. You know, like it was very repetitive. Like I really wanted something new, but I didn't know quite what it was. And this podcast and media thing I'm doing really, it gave me a new opening to a whole nother book of music, and it's really really great. And there's always I can throw you some artists. I'm not sure if you've seen them on the Instagram page, the Artist Works little thing, but there's definitely some good hip hop out there, and I know you like some hip hop, so.
Yeah, I'm just very particular about my music. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it has to really touch me for me to listen to it. Like I can't just listen to anything. Like I have to like
You have
it
to
has
know
to,
music is all about connection. You're 100%
yeah.
correct.
Like I'm very particular. And I only listen to music certain times of the day. And for certain reasons. Like I can't just be chilling right now and just listen to music. There's I don't know. I'm very particular about my music, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, here we go. To kind of not steer off, but we'll ask a couple music questions here if you don't mind. I have these for you. When you find, like I say, I don't know, do you find any inspiration like in any types of music? Are there any artists of any genre that kind of help inspire you with Burn the Wagon? Maybe you throw them on to get a podcast idea, a topic idea, a reel, a TikTok idea, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. So like I was saying, I'm really particular about my music.
Yeah.
Like the lyrics really have to mean something. They have to say something, and you have to flow well.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't just be just anything on a beat. Yeah, so like hip hop is a little bit hard for me to listen to because I feel like it's lost its way a lot, and a lot of rappers are just wanting to just want to rap.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't just go off listen to anything. So majority of the time I'm listening to reggae because what I am trying to do and what I am trying to push is exactly what reggae is speaking about: being oppressed, being held down, being caged. Those sort of things really get me motivated. So yeah, artists like that, artists that are really speaking from the heart. Chronix is a good one, reggae artist that I listen to.
Yeah.
Atmosphere is a really good hip hop artist that I listen to. Yeah, man. There's another dude out of the Bay Area that's really now is La Russell, and he's just speaking about
Yeah, he's good.
facts. Yeah, he just speaks about actual shit that he sees in his neighborhood. He's not just speaking about drugs, money, and women, cars, clothes. Like I can't do that stuff. So yeah, stuff like that is
Well,
really touching me right now. You know what I mean?
well, here's one for you. Since we're kind of wrapping around on a fun topic, you just gave me three artists, and it seems like you're listening to them right now. Could you throw me two more to make that five to kind of better understand your music book right now?
Yeah. So let's see. Another good artist is Natalie Rise. She's down to stand up against the system. Pretty much anything that's standing up against the system, and the system is the U.S. government. So anything that is resisting against that, or resisting against patriarchy, or resisting against capitalism, I'm down for.
Yeah.
But like I said, it really has to like hit me in a way that I'm like, okay, this flows with the music. This beat goes well with his voice, with what
Mm-hmm.
he's saying. You can tell he's practiced it, or she, or they. You know, it I have to know the person has practiced, and I have to know the person is really like saying what they mean and what they want to say. Like so, like that's why I'm saying I'm particular about my music.
Yes.
I got it has to be worth listening to for me to listen to it.
Yes. Always. Always. Yes. I mean that's a very good point right there. I mean, why just buy it and listen to it? No, like, well, what's the meaning behind it? Why did you pick it? Like,
hundred
what?
percent. And
Yeah.
like you're asking, like what motivates me. That's what I'm listening to music for, is to get
Yeah.
motivated.
There you go.
That was like a perfect question, because like yeah, like we can listen to music, but like
Mm-hmm.
like what is it? Because I really like to like daydream when I'm listening to music, and a lot of the times lately I've been crying. It's been bringing me, like, I cry once a day listening to music.
Yeah, it
So
brings an emotion out, but it's a real feeling.
yeah, that's what I'm looking for is exactly that, is emotion. What brings me emotion?
Hmm. Yeah, and it takes a lot of a person to show that, especially in today's world, to be able to show a raw emotion like that and not let it take you down, but let it know that it's almost like you're healing yourself by letting something so small like that just help you get through a time or from a connection from something.
100%, you're right.
That's awesome, man. And was there another artist that you're
Oh
listening?
yeah, you said five. I only get
Yeah,
four.
yeah, no, you're all good, buddy. No, no,
I
man,
see
it's
Natalie Rise. I said Natalie Rise.
yeah. You had La Russell, Chronics, Atmosphere, and Natalie Rise.
Let's see. What's another artist, man, that I'm listening to right now? Geez, that's hard. Because I don't listen to music much. And I'm on a hip hop podcast right now. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, because I do my own poetry and stuff too. So that's
Well,
along the
how
lines.
about that? We could say that, man. Your poetry, it could be your music, man.
No, dude, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I don't listen to it just because like
Yeah.
I'm still like getting the chops to like listen to my voice and listen, like watch myself. But another good artist that I really listen to is Stick Figure.
Okay.
That is another motivating crew that I listen to, and I'm honestly diving into a lot of like roots reggae. So a person that let's scratch Stick Figure and let's do um, brother culture.
Brother
Um,
Culture.
yeah, so he's a reggae artist, and you should look up Rastafari Army.
Is that
Um,
a song by him?
yeah, and that song is pretty much encompasses what I'm doing in my life right now. Yeah.
All right, I will definitely give that a listen. That's something I can listen to later after we're done with the show today. Wow, that's just a wide variety because La Russell, I know he's out of Vallejo, and it's strange. I found his song from him doing a video on Instagram, him in the back of a truck. I don't know if you had seen that one on Instagram of him do one of his hit songs, that one with Nef the Pharaoh he has.
No, I hadn't. I had seen him on the Breakfast Club where he spits one of his verses. And it just and like that verse was just like extremely good. He says the first line is like European. I can't remember, but it's amazing. It's along the lines of just like Europeans just stealing everything. Um, you know, but like yeah, stuff like that just speaks to me. And us from being from Mendocino, we love that Vallejo rap.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
of course. You
Mac
got
Dre is still my screensaver on my phone to this day.
Yeah, I shout out the Thiz King all the time. I always say, "Hyphy won't die until I die." Mac Dre, he's a big motivation for me, man. He was influential, man. And the thing is, the reason why I always want to talk about Dre, and I always like to bring Dre up, is because I want to be able to give Dre credit because I feel like he hasn't been given the credit that he really deserves.
He hasn't, man, and lyrically, he's amazing. It's just because he was underground and he didn't want to be on the radio and he didn't want to do those things and he was straight hood. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he says it himself. He's a preppy. He's a pimp. He's a crest side rider. He's so many different things. He had
Al
so
Boo
many
Boo,
different styles. He had
Denzel Washington.
yeah. He could talk to the nerd down the street. He could talk to the gangster on the corner. You know what I mean? It's the type of person, and obviously I'm just like going off of like videos and stuff because I used to religiously watch his videos. Yeah, and the type of person he was is what I want to be. Is just be able to speak and mingle with every type of person.
Yeah, and the thing, I don't know, did you ever, if you're the Dre fan you are, if you watch him extensively, then you've tapped into the whole Trill TV catalog?
Yeah, man. That was when I was 14 and 15. That was on probably every single day of my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've watched one and two pretty extensively. I every single one of his dance moves is in my repertoire. Um, yeah, anything he did, I tried to emulate at our dances.
Yeah, definitely. Mac Dre, man. And you know what? The great thing, too, I love Mac Dre. And the thing, too, and when you say how he could connect to a lot of people, well, you know my dad. You know, everybody in our community knows my pops. And my dad, he's an old-time head. He was born in the 50s. And he never liked hip-hop. He would never like it. And one thing my dad would always tell me was, hey, if you're going to put on your rap, you got to put one song on for me. And my dad's favorite rapper, his only rapper, was Mac Dre, and his favorite song by him was Not My Job. And that was a deal my dad would always make with me before we'd go on a road trip because he knew that's what I was going to play. So I'd give my dad that time, and man, my dad would be sitting there driving in a Ford Ranger, like, that's not my job. That's not my job. And it's just great because, like how you just, iterated, Dre could talk to the nerd down the street or the gangster on the corner. Well, he's got my dad, a carpenter up in Mendocino, driving around in a Ford Ranger, just getting loose to his music. It's just that's being almost more than influential. It's like there's almost a different word for it.
Yeah, he definitely could touch a lot of people, man. And unfortunately, we were a little bit behind, young for him. So because he passed away in 2004. But definitely eventually in my life, I'm going to work my way up with his podcast to interview people in his inner circle. So yeah, that's definitely a goal of mine.
I'm so right there with you. I'm really have the same dream to get a lot of Bay Area artists out here. That's I want to build this platform. That's what we're all about. We're about music, podcasts, sports, going to live events, covering live events, and also for the audience too. If you haven't got out on the YouTube page, you got to go out and remember to check out Support the Underground. We got episodes 1, 2, and 3 right now up there. They are live, so remember to go hit that subscribe button. You'll get a little notification every time we'll be dropping. And we're also going to start dropping too. We got a lot of stuff getting set up, so we're going to also be having the video of a lot of these episodes in the work, and then it will be on a consistent basis where you can find the episodes on Spotify and you can find it on our YouTube page. And one question I did have for you, Juan, do you have your podcasts available for like audio listening anywhere on the internet or any apps or anything currently?
No, audio is not really what I'm going for. I'm going for more visual because I want people to see people's faces when they're talking about these things. I want to see how they're feeling, and I want people to see their emotions. So I do have a couple audio episodes edited and ready to go. It's just, in my personal opinion, I'm looking for video. But yeah, everything's on YouTube. Everything. I mean, eventually, I will get to Spotify and stuff like that. But as of right now, I'm really keen on the audio or the video because I think it's important for people to see people's emotions and see how because there's certain questions that I ask that are like, it's because we carry a lot of trauma through us.
Yes.
Some of these questions are very traumatic questions to think about and to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So if people see that, then they really know it's real and they really know we're coming from a real place.
Yes.
So that's my main goal right now.
That's awesome. All right. I'll keep this going here. All right. So I don't know these questions. These were just some personal questions I wanted to get from someone from your point of view. I feel like these are important, boundaries to be able to, break and be able to talk about things like this. But in your mind, I'm just curious, do you think that there is, is there really a voice in the United States government that is actually pushing for kind of like the same vision you have, like being able to recognize Native Americans and their culture and everything else that comes with it?
There is Deb Holland, who is I can't remember her actual position, but she is making waves for Native Americans and indigenous people across Turtle Island. But as far as it's hard, man, because I do. I want to encourage people to get involved in things like this and vote, but at the same time, these two political parties are both a part of the same shit bird.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to encourage that. Like, so it's, yes, there is right now somebody that is representing us, but at the same time, I don't know if she's representing us for us or if she's representing us for her own political gain.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
and yes, she is a Native American. She is indigenous. She does identify as that. I can never take that away from her.
Yes.
But we don't know like, is she really helping our communities? And that's the whole thing about starting this podcast. Like if no one's going to create a space for us, if no one's going to create platforms for us, I'll create it myself. And if I have to be the person to be the face of it, fuck it, I will. And I'm not an educated person. I'm not a person that went to school, but I am passionate about getting voices heard. So I think as it's hard because like we do need people in these political spaces to get our name heard, but at the same time, it's we don't want to be a part of a system that has committed genocide on our people.
Yeah, definitely. That's it's something that has to be definitely oppressed and dealt with. With like the politics of everything though, what has just to my better understanding, like the whole pipeline situations and stuff like that, like are those being dealt with? Are there still being pipelines laid on native lands right now that we should be fighting to have stopped?
Yeah, so there is pipelines being put throughout many many reservations in the United States. A big one people have heard about is Standing Rock. Another pipeline that people have heard about is Line 3. And so what my issue is with this situation is we got pushed to these reservations. We got pushed to these lands that aren't originally ours. And we didn't originally inhabit these lands that they pushed us to. But now that they've figured out that they can profit off going through these lands, they want something to do with it. So before these lands, they didn't know they can make profit. They just shoved us there and said, "You guys live there off of this shit land, and you guys don't have resources like hunting, like fishing, like stuff like that." And then once they find out that, oh, we can make revenue, we can make money off of going through here, let's do it, and let's not even care about the push people that we forced to be on this land.
Yes.
And in that those pipes, the oil leaks into the waterways, that destroys the fish. I don't know if there's salmon in certain parts of these, but I know for us it would be salmon up in Northern California. So it's tough. It's a tough situation because they won't stop putting their pipelines in. They stop building for 6 months because people are interfering, but after that 6 months they go back right into it and start building. So it's they're not being dealt with, even though, like I said, we have Deb Haaland in this situation, in this position of power, but she doesn't have enough power and firepower behind her. So I guess we do need more natives in these situations to get more firepower behind people like her. So yeah, it's a really tough conversation to have, you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. It was just something I just wanted to kind of just dive into just a little bit. I just want to have the best understanding to my ability, and learn every bit that I can. So when conversations ever do come up, I kind of have more of a sense of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, I myself have to do, because like there's so many that pop up every month. Stop Line 3, stop this pipeline, stop this pipeline. So it's like I have to do much more research on each individual pipeline. But yeah, overall, these companies are just trying to come in and take over the land that they pushed a certain people to profit off of.
Yes.
And a lot of these oil companies bring in man camps that really bring in all types of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big issue with our MMIW, which is missing and murdered indigenous women,
Yeah.
and two spirits. So that's a big issue that runs into that, because our women are 2.5 times more likely to be sexually assaulted, and they're 10 times more likely to be murdered than any other race. So yeah, it's bigger than just saving the earth. It's saving our people too.
Yeah, I know. There's more to life than exactly just saving the earth. It's humanity. It's all the little things that come with it too.
Yeah,
To build the foundation and the structure to keep it going.
100%.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, it's really sad to see, especially what's going on. It's like it's just it's it's almost like high school these days with the political parties. How I look at it, it's just two teams like fighting each other almost.
Yeah, it's and if you're on one team, you really hate the other team, and it's like, I don't know, it's a weird time. It's a really weird time, because I mean, like, one side does have some fucked up views, and that's the right side. So it's like, I don't know, like, how could you still possibly like agree that women shouldn't be allowed to get an abortion in 2022?
Yeah,
That's wild to me. That's like, the craziest thing. Like, I don't fucking know. Like,
yeah, no,
this
definitely.
this political system, like I said, man, like the podcast says, we got to burn the fucking wagon, man.
Exactly, right there. You just heard Juan say it. We got to be able to stand up and just let's all put an end to it. Everyone stand up together and be a bigger voice. Use your voice.
Yeah, because if we ultimately get rid of the patriarchy, if we get rid of capitalism, if we fucking get rid of colonialism, it'll be beneficial for our entire country. It's not just gonna be beneficial for our native communities. It's gonna be beneficial for the entire country.
Exactly. And that's where I think people, it's almost like everyone's just scared though, That's how America lives. They live their life almost in fear, it seems like, but we're supposedly this big powerhouse.
And that's the thing that people kind of, they hear land back and they go, where are you going to send me? Where are you going to put me? We're like, we're not going to take you from your land. We're not going to take these things from you. Just these certain things that you have, we want the same thing in our communities. Because on the Navajo reservation, I believe 38% of people don't have running water.
That's insane.
So that's a huge thing for us in land back. We're not going to take where you live. We just want the same things that you have in our communities.
Yeah, and that's so hard for a lot of people to understand. They refuse to accept it.
100%, and they think we're going to send everybody back to Europe or whatever. It's like, nah, man, that, how hard of a process that would be. Like,
we're past that. That couldn't even happen.
Exactly. That we're 300 years past that shit. We can't, like, you're here, you're in this country, you're a citizen of this country. We just want the same thing as you.
Exactly. Simple as that. Yeah, no, it's definitely, there's a lot of great things that you cover too. I've been able to watch a few of your Instagram lives. They're always very informative, and there's always a lot that I always catch. But with that being said, a couple more questions I do have for you. Do you have any like events? I know that you're in the Central Coast of California, Santa Cruz, California, to be exact. How well do you get around to events? Are you just kind of Central California at the moment?
So Santa Cruz is pretty much all the events that I can get to at the moment. I could go to, because I don't have a car, so I could get up to the Bay Area and check out some events. But if it's enough time ahead, like I can get time off and I can go to an event like in LA or whatever. But yeah, Juneteenth is an event that people can catch me at here in Santa Cruz, and I am possibly doing a land acknowledgement. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, that'll be a paddle out here in Santa Cruz, California. Look up Black Surf Club of Santa Cruz, I believe is their name, is putting it on. which is amazing. Trying to incorporate more, people of indigenous and people from the Black communities to go out and surf and retake the ocean, as the ocean and surfing is kind of deemed a white sport and a white thing to do. But I think the ocean is for everybody, and those things are for everybody. So yeah, I just kind of went on a fucking little rant about that, but
No,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
good. It's a way that you want to share, and it's a way that you want to put it in context. It's your way of understanding it as well.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, man, if anybody wants to catch me out there, or just hop in my DMs if you want to know anything, Burn the Wagon at Instagram, YouTube, or you can follow my personal page, 12 Tree. Yeah, all that stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's great, and it's always fun to have, like you said, you want to have all types of walks of life and all types of guests on and stuff, and that's the same energy I have, man. And I'm very thankful that you were willing to get on too. And I'll definitely, I got it written down here. It says what Stewie G you said his name was.
Yeah, check him out, man. Check his Instagram
So
out.
what could you what he's a Native American rapper, correct?
Yeah, he's a rapper. He does shows all over the place, man.
Awesome, sweet. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to get in with him. And have you had the chance to speak with him at all?
Yeah, I had him on my podcast. He's from Lake County, but he also grew up in the Bay Area somewhere. So he's got that. He grew up in the Bay Area for most of his life, but he also lived in Lake County, which is like more backwoods style living. So he has this, he has the urban, and then he has the backwoods living to his repertoire. So yeah, he's a cool dude.
Definitely awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate you recommending that, and also too, yeah, man. If you got any other projects or anything too, just feel free to just shoot them my way, and we'll do our best to get some promotions out like that. But what's your future schedule looking like? What do you got going on for the rest of the year with Burn the Wagon?
I mean, just continue to push out content, continue to network, continue to get better, continue to promote as many voices, as many stories that I can. Obviously, the goal is to monetize all this somehow, and get sponsors. So yeah, the more events I can get to, the better chances I have for that. But yeah, just definitely just check out Burn the Wagon on Instagram and then YouTube. And we are working on a website. We are working on shirts. We are working on stickers. So yeah, all that stuff is in the works.
That's awesome, man. I'm really glad that you're getting that going. It's definitely, I'm in the same boat, trying to piece all this together and really, monetize and build a brand. There's a lot of behind the scenes, a lot that a lot of people don't see.
Absolutely, and it's a lot of emailing, a lot of reaching out to people.
A lot of plans, exactly, a lot of coordinating, a lot of no's. That's a lot of rejection. That's been my big thing to teach myself. Don't let one no, ruin what you're trying to accomplish that day.
Yeah, because I mean, you get a no, but there's 5 more people in that of that type of person that you can interview.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like you said earlier, it's a different story for each of us. Each of us have a completely different story,
Mm-hmm.
but there could be along the same realm or the same, just what they're touching on
Mm-hmm.
is what you want to get to the your audience. So yeah, just because that one person said no, there's other people that may have that same type of vibe about them.
Definitely. No, and the vibe is definitely a big thing I've been finding. That's everyone's key go-to down here, especially in Southern California, the LA hip hop underground scene. It's definitely been a treat. We can say that. It's cool to see something different,
Absolutely, and we're coming where we come from. There's not much that happens like events like that. So yeah, it's probably cool to be a part of.
Well, no, and another thing too, Juan, that I'll mention, I'll just kind of snip it on it. This is actually something we have in the works. I've actually been putting my little head to work and thinking that same thing that you just kind of iterated out of your mouth. There's nothing going on where we're from, and I've been at this. I've been doing this about a year almost. In July, it'll be a year for me. But really, been going at it 2 months. But the amount of people I've met in 2 months, a lot of them want to do shows. A lot of them want to get their music out there. A lot of them want to get their names out there. And right now, currently, I've found a couple promoters, a couple people that know how to put things like this together. And hopefully, if we can plan it all right, we're going to try and propose a hip hop event at the Point Arena Theater sometime, hopefully by the end of this year.
Yeah, man, I encourage you to do that. I've talked to a couple of people on the Arena Theater board, and they're all down to have an event. It just has to be planned correctly.
Yeah, you got it. I've already talked to John Dupont a little bit, and it's there's the insurance thing, the how much of the tickets, getting your cut, and yeah, exactly. As long as it's getting planned accordingly, they're willing to do it, and that's the great thing about that theater too. They've had so many different types of events there. They've done wow. When we were kids, they used to have the electronic dance ones.
What was his name? Fucking DJ Fuzz or something. Fuzz Patrol.
Yeah, we would always go see Fuzz Patrol. I was some guy from he was from the Bay Area or something. And he would come up.
His name's Ian Stinson. It was Pilar's dad.
Yeah, and he would always play, and he would bring all his EDM friends from the Bay Area, and they would throw a show for us. And those were really some of the last kind of youthful though. You'd catch the 15, 16 to 25-year-old crowd. People looking to do something on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and Revolution used to play there a lot when I was 14, 15.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing them in 2007 for $6 there.
Yeah, man, that was when I was a freshman.
I mean, how many of us can say that we saw Revolution at the theater for fuck, dude, their tickets now are all props to the boys. They've earned it. They blew up, but that's just crazy to think that, they used to come to our little small community. And all really part to Harlan's brother, Marley. So, him being, partially from there. So, but yeah, those were great times. And I really want to, this is my platform. It's also a media company, and we're trying to, like you said, monetize this and push events. And that's something I want to give back to my community in the aspect of being able to provide something to do. How many times have you been around in a circle up there? Hey guys, what is there to do?
Yeah. And, and that's the thing. I think a couple people that have kind of gotten big and have the ability to do things they haven't done in our hometown.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is unfortunate. But yeah, I don't really want to go anywhere further than that. But yeah, man, it'd be amazing to get some stuff planned up there. I'm definitely want to do a live podcast up in the theater. So yeah, I definitely encourage it. We can definitely collab and make it a dual thing or whatever, man.
No, we can
I'm down to support.
I know it's gonna take a team, man. I'm sure as hell not doing this by myself. And so yeah, definitely it will get planned accordingly. But it's something that I've been writing out and really wanting to do. And I feel like it would also be, just another great way to help people get their voice out there, and just have fun, let's bring some music from Southern California up to Mendo, and let some people listen to some West Coast underground hip hop.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be definitely a vibe. But we're getting close here. We're almost with our hour mark. We got about 10 minutes here. It's definitely been a fun chatting with you, Juan. I really appreciate you coming out for the 4th episode. A couple more little things. I'm just going to wrap on a short note. I think we might have covered it, but so we're just clear. Is there anybody that you want to thank? Maybe anybody you want to shout out with your whole Burn the Wagon series, or anybody you want to get a little recognition to?
If I want to give any recognition to anybody, it's anybody that's out there living on the res. It's anybody that's living out there with mental health issues. It's anybody out there that's living with, that's dealing with domestic violence. I want to send love out for yourselves for being here and listening to this podcast today. And I want to send love out to our precious Mother Earth for allowing us to strive and live and be human beings on this turtle island that we call home.
Awesome, man. That's great. And just so we can make sure we get everything clear too for socials and where people can find you in that aspect. So we can iterate. It was Burn the Wagon. Is that just all one word or on your Instagram, or do you want to go ahead and shout that out again?
I believe it's burn_the_wagon. And if you want to email me too, it's burnthewagon1492@gmail.com, all lowercase. If you want to look up the YouTube, it's just type in Burn the Wagon and you'll see the Burning Wagon logo up there. And definitely subscribe and share as much as you can on the YouTube, on the Instagram. Yeah, man, I really appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, man, I
definitely keep going, keep pushing, keep pushing to get people's underground music heard, man.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I just I want to be a bigger voice for that independent scene. I want to do what the mainstream isn't doing. You know, why don't you you've already made, not make it about the money. Just do it. Just help people. Just be a good person. Is that so hard to do these days? I think it is.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's been an honor, Juan. I want to thank you again, and I want to thank my audience for checking in today. Today's episode, it was brought to you in part by me and Juan. It was definitely a great time. We're definitely going to have him on again, hopefully out in the future. And, we're going to be doing some more stuff too, Juan, that we definitely want to get you involved with. And hopefully we can do a Support the Underground short series for you on YouTube next time I'm up in Santa Cruz. If we can, we'll find something. Or, I'll cover one of your events. We'll definitely make it work, and let the people see what you're doing. With the more, like you said, you're about video. Let your emotion transfer through the screen to the listener.
100%, man.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you, Juan, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a good day.
Later.